7. I am disabled, recognized by the state of Arkansas, but also the United States government. There's that. Now, the downside of that is I am extremely depressed. So there's some mental health issues that we bring to the table. And then physically, I am morbidly obese. I have no references, no work history, and no education. And when you Google my name, you might see rumors that I beat my ex-wife. Should mention I'm also a felon.
Okay.
Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're back again with another YouTube video, and I just finished watching the LolCow Live podcast where Boogie2988 talks more about his faking cancer situation. Now, as you guys know, I made a video yesterday where Destiny went on the LolCow Live podcast and confronted Boogie2988 about a diagnosis he claimed to have about 2 years ago, where he made a video saying, "I have cancer." Where in this video, he explains to his audience that he has been diagnosed with polycythemia vera, which is a form of cancer that creates a high amount of blood cells, which ends up creating like blood clottages and heart attacks, stuff like that. And the way he describes it is it's the Animal Crossing of cancer, whereas like, you know, butt cancer and breast cancer and lung cancer is more of like the Doom Eternal. So I'm assuming like it's kind of like his version isn't that serious compared to others, but it's still serious. It's still cancer, right? Now, Boogie being the massive manipulator and liar he is, people called him out like a while ago and saying that they want evidence, but for the most part, people just kind of believed him a little bit. Like, a lot of people know Boogie is a massive liar and manipulator, but I feel like a lot of people felt like he wouldn't lie about something this serious. But it is really pointing to the fact that he did lie, especially with the giant bombshell we kind of got in this new update. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So basically what happened was Destiny confronted him in the last LolCow Live podcast and brought up a lot of information that contradicts with what Boogie has been saying. The fact that his doctor is calling for a sleep test that more aligns with polycythemia, like the second version that isn't cancerous. Right? And on top of that, also his treatments and stuff like that. Like, he hasn't really been able to correlate what he's getting treated for and his treatment plans. He says like bloodletting and stuff like that and blood tests, which isn't really technically treatment. It's, you know, that's a blood test. And he says he's on medication. And then on top of that, also CoffeeZilla tried getting him to show his medical like payments and stuff, because as you guys know, Boogie recently scammed his fans, and a big defense he had for himself is saying, well, he has medical bills he has to pay, right? Like, it's all going to medical bills. And then he was actually unable to actually prove that any of that money went towards medical bills, right? Like, it's just a complete shit show. Not to mention, he also got confronted multiple times about his inconsistencies with his diagnoses. The fact that he's going to get a bone marrow biopsy to confirm a treatment that he's already been getting treated for the last 2 years. That's not really how it works, right? So obviously he was being confronted, and by the end of the live stream, a lot of people concluded that he is faking his cancer. Right? It would be right up Boogie's alley. He is constantly pretending to be a victim. And of course, you know, he gets cancer all of a sudden. So he can be a massive victim and literally use it in every single scenario. You guys think Boogie's a liar? He's going to say it's because of his cancer. You guys call Boogie out for scamming his fans? He's going to say it's the cancer that made him scam. Right? Oh, Boogie, you got to come do a podcast today on LolCow Live. Sorry, I can't. I got cancer. Right? He's going to use it every single time. Now, in this recent podcast, a couple things happen. First of all, Mudahar catches him in a lot of lies because this guy is such a massive liar. But the big thing we found out, I'm just going to cut to the chase, is he confirms that the cancer, you know, diagnosis is not on his patient portal, which your patient portal is essentially all your like medical records. Your doctors will update it. You know, everything you need is going to be in that. I think it's a little easier than everything being in like actual paper form. And he pretty much confirms that he doesn't have it on his patient portal, which is a little bit suspect. And now we realize why he did not want to show his patient portal to everyone, even with being offered like thousands of dollars from Mudahar and Destiny to show these papers to prove that he has cancer. He was unwilling to, and now we kind of know why, because it doesn't say it on his patient portal. Right? Now, Keemstar at the end of the stream concludes that it's most likely he got, told by his doctor that he may have a cancer or he may have this and that, and he decided to run to his YouTube channel and play the victim. Right now, that may be true, but at the end of the day, he still technically faked his cancer then, because there's no way that he gets diagnosed with cancer and it's not on his patient portal. Now, he claims that it's on his medical charts or whatever, but he's not going to show those. If it's on your medical charts, it should also be on your patient portal as well. Wings of Redemption also goes on to say that they update it as they're doing treatments, basically. Like, he was with his wife at the hospital and she was being treated for her diabetes, and as she was being treated, it was literally updating on his patient portal. So it's weird the fact that Boogie claims to have 3 doctors and it says nowhere that he has cancer on his patient portal. It makes no sense, but he says it's on his chart. But again, if it's on his chart, it should be in his patient portal as well. And he says that, well, he can corroborate this because his brother has seen his chart and his brother knows about medical stuff, even though his brother isn't a doctor. He has a PhD, but he's not a doctor. But apparently he's able to read medical charts enough to say, oh yeah, you do have cancer. But even though it's not true. Now, Boogie also goes on to say as well in this live stream that he is also being checked for other cancers as well, like colon cancer, and obviously the bone biopsy he still wants to get done. Now, this also could be true, but I don't know. This is such a messed up situation, and in my personal opinion, it not being on the patient portal is pretty much the nail in the coffin. If you have cancer, they're definitely going to put it on there, and the fact that it's not on there, and he lied about it being on there. He literally tweeted out saying it was on his patient portal, and then they called him out in the stream saying, well, no, it isn't. You literally just told us it wasn't. And he's like, well, yeah, I lied. I started panicking. I lied. And then he wonders why no one can believe him. You know what I mean? And like I said in my last video, and lots of people say, cancer is a very serious thing. I don't know why they're messing around with it like this. I don't know why Boogie's being so secretive. This is such a serious situation. And the fact that Keemstar also argues about the fact that he may not fire him. He brings up, he's like, oh, let's ask the audience if you either disclose your information or we're going to fire you. I still think Keemstar should fire him, because of how dishonest Boogie has been this entire time, how distrusting he's been, the amount of controversy he's going to bring towards your podcast. It might equate to numbers right now, Keemstar. You might be getting some money right now. I think he says this whole situation has got him $10,000 just based on ad revenue and stuff. But once this passed, people are just going to continue hating Boogie, and no one's going to watch the podcast anymore because no one wants to support someone or a podcast that is allowing someone who faked a cancer on the podcast. He was purposely misleading and untruthful about this entire situation. The fact that Keemstar is not going to fire him, and he's like, well, guys, actually, the reason why I'm not firing him is because he got exposed on this podcast. If it wasn't for this podcast, he wouldn't get it. Yeah, but do you want to know what would really hurt Boogie? If you stop paying him. Right? He's making money off of your podcast. He's making money on the LolCal Live, and you allowing him to continue being platformed on this podcast shows that you are completely okay with someone lying about cancer on your podcast, or at least being purposely dishonest about his cancer. If he even has it, right? It's not on his patient portal, which is extremely suspicious, but apparently it's in his medical charts, even though he's not willing to show the medical charts. It's so confusing to me, man. I'm honestly so confused about this entire situation. But at the end of the day, I think it's up to Keemstar to remove Boogie. Get a different LolCal on there, right? There's so many of them. Just get a different one, right? And I know Boogie's your moneymaker. He's probably the most popular one on that podcast. But, it goes beyond content. It goes beyond content. It might be giving you money and numbers right now, but you really got to search through all the garbage and the content and realize, oh, well, he's just straight up, allowing a person who faked cancer on your LolCal podcast. But the reason why you're keeping him is because he does good numbers right now because of this controversy. Everyone's talking about it, right? But anyways, that's all I really want to talk about. Really messed up situation. This is just gross, honestly. But anyways, if you guys like this video, leave a like, subscribe. Also, if you guys want to join the Discord as well, it'll be in the link in the description down below. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Counting sheep, but there's one I always miss.